Welcome back to Master Your Ash. I'm your host, Michael Presdale, and today we will be smoking the Davidoff Winston Churchill, the Late Hour. This is a 7x48 Churchill size, aptly named after Sir Winston himself, and it is the first to feature a blend aged in single malt whiskey casks from Davidoff's official page. They also state that the blend is an Ecuadorian rich, deep dark chocolate wrapper, well fermented and beautiful, over Mexican San Andres binder with fillers coming from the Dominican Republic and from Nicaragua. Pairing suggestions were also very interesting, as Davidoff does like to put them occasionally from time to time. They say that for whiskey, you want a malted, smooth, and complex whiskey with smoky notes, which I did not choose a single malt for that, but I am planning on opening up my little mini of Johnnie Walker Blue Label, as I don't believe that we've had anything outside of the Ghost and Rare on the channel before, so it'll be nice to revisit Johnnie Walker Blue, as it is the holiday season and Johnnie Walker Blue is very synonymous with the holidays. They say that a bitter beer would be the best to pair with the woody brioche kind of flavors that we're supposedly going to get off the late hour. Port wine, they said something not too sweet, but something with deep, robust flavors. And as far as rum, they said a complex and spicy selection that's not too sweet, because I'm guessing there's a lot of sweetness on this cigar. I have not seen any reviews on this, although I do know that they exist. I have also never smoked a late hour. I have only smoked the limited edition. The MSRP on this cigar is between $26 to $28 in this Churchill size format. Shout out to Peter over at the Cigar Collective. It is due to his wonderful bomb that he sent the channel not too long ago that made this review possible, as I have been looking forward to smoking a late hour. The initial flavors of this cigar, really rich, decadent. Got some nice chocolate notes, dark, robust coffee notes, slight nutty component, nowhere near as much nuttiness right off the bat as in the Winston Churchill LE or in the white label Winston Churchills. Much richer, bolder, more robust. And I could see kind of where aging in single malt whiskeys, pairing with single malt whiskeys or something more complex, those are the recommendations just right off the bat, because there are deep, rich notes off of this dark Ecuadorian wrapper. And just the blend in general. I really like the 7x48 format in the Churchill. It's manageable. Sure, sometimes you get like into the 50s and sometimes even like the 7x54s now, I know, with like the SP 1014 series and some of like the Saka series, where you get like a really, really big ring gauge that takes you all of 2.5, 3 hours to smoke. These are much more manageable and more traditional in size, and I really like the form factor a lot. Very nice, rich, brown sugar, almost demerara syrup. Spice is manageable, maybe a 6 or a 7 at the very most. White pepper is the spice note, not very much on the cedar baking spice notes so far in the first third. Really enjoying it too. Does have a lot of nice spicy characteristics to both the retrohale and on the palate. But the spice is manageable on the retrohale. It is not blasting at all. It's now gone down to about a 5 or a 6 out of 10 at the very most. Definitely more of a full-bodied smoke, really rich, almost barbecue-like notes on the palate. A little touch of mineral earth, touch of like fresh green bell pepper, almost like vegetal qualities that come out of this mixture and blend of tobacco that I really like. It's like the perfect balance between something that's robust and complex and also something that's very, very refreshing and vibrant. About to approach the secondary band, just moving through about halfway home. Flavorful, decadent, rich, robust, complex flavor. It has some rich demerara syrup to it, brown sugar kind of notes to go along with the barbecue notes. Vegetal kind of green bell pepper has left, and now we're left with the darker, more confectionery notes. Before our pairing, I am for sure going with our Johnnie Walker Blue Label. And Johnnie Walker, for those that are unfamiliar or have never been introduced to it before, it is a blended Scotch. So there are single malts from all different types of distilleries that compose the blend. One thing that I love about Johnnie Walker Blue is the amount of peat. There's, in my humble opinion, one of the perfect balances of that honey heather malty Scotch note from the Highlands, from Speyside, and then you get all of that wonderful peat from Islay. They play off of each other so well. You get enough malt and enough peat, enough robust complexity in the Scotch to pair with the Winston Churchill Late Hour. I have to say that probably my favorite transition, and I don't get an opportunity to say this enough, which is why I'm going to point this out. My favorite transition with this cigar is actually in the final third. One of those cigars that you enjoy just as much in the final third as you enjoyed in the first third and the second third. It is exceptional. And I'm sure that the Churchill format allows for a little bit more of that, but it's just so nice that a 7x48 Churchill, thinner Churchill for today's standards, but more of a classic size, is so good in the final third, and it offers something different than in each of the previous 2/3. It does have that spice on the retrohale, so you might want to stop retrohaling in the final third, or you may want to just on occasion to make sure that you're getting all the tasting notes, but it is truly exceptional. I enjoy this just as much as the limited edition that I smoked last year, and I think that it goes up there as a box-worthy stick. Truly exceptional smoke, and shout out to Peter once again. Thank you, brother, for allowing me to try this finally. Thank you all so much for liking, commenting, subscribing, continuing to support and grow the community here at Master Your Ash. I greatly appreciate that. Look out for our giveaway on Patreon at the end of the month. It's going to be fantastic for this month and for the start of the new year. Follow us on Rumble, Spotify. Those are the backups in case anything should ever happen to us here on YouTube. And I look forward to catching you again for another Davidoff Winston Churchill Late Hour cigar review.